Hi, my name's Diane. You're currently watching the Just Kidding Around show. Thank you so much for joining us. Each week we bring a different guest into our studio and we learn about different crafts and hobbies that the entire family can do. This is sort of a how-to show. We start the show by saying hello to some of our favorite people, and I'm going to start by saying hi, Mr. Feeney, and hello to students at South Bay and old friends at Pleasant Glade. This week we have a very, very talented lady with us. Her name is Lynn Ruth, but you might also know her as the Treehouse Lady. And this is, how many times have you been on our show, Lynn?
4 or 5.
Yeah, I think so. And you always have such great ideas. Is there somebody you want to say hi to?
Sure, I'll say hi to my girlfriend Gail and my mother.
Okay. Hi, Gail. Hi, Mom. And I hear we're going to be doing two separate things today. You want to talk a little about that?
I do. You know, I found it was really too difficult to try and teach you and paint a painting in a half hour, really difficult. So I wanted to give you some therapy today, and art to me is therapy. And so I have been experimenting with painting on tiles, and I've gotten some really beautiful tiles. And I wanted you to go ahead and just enjoy the experience of the tile and the paint, and I want you to make what I think is try to create flowers, because we're doing a celebration of spring. We're believing that we're going to have an early spring and that this is going to be the winter's going to pass us by and it's going to be a great, wonderful new experience.
This is spring right now. This show's on it.
But I mean, at this point it's not, but it will be very soon. Mm-hmm. So I'm right now today I'm going to do our beginning painting we do at the treehouse, and what I did was I painted it for people to see. Right here is my painting, and I embellished it by adding a lot of flowers because I wanted to enjoy that experience of painting flowers into a scene.
Okay, and where did you get the original idea for that painting?
Well, right here, this has been with me for about 12 years.
Oh my goodness.
I imagine it's off of a little calendar. I don't know if they can get a shot of it. It's really, really cute. And I've had little 6-year-olds, even all the way to adults, begin with this painting. And this particular painting has people in it. I've only had one student have the courage enough to put the people in it. He did an excellent job. I didn't put the people in because we're going to make it simple and just enjoy it. But it's just a very wonderful way to learn how to paint. It shows the layers of how to paint well. So what I did was I was going to show folks how to begin this, and the beginning is to set up a pattern. I'm not sure if you can see it. I'll give you a second. This is the pattern is the B. If you start with a B and then it has a line going down, this is goes up to the waterfront, and this up here is the tree, and the tree is a weeping willow tree. So you set it up doing this little pattern, and then you put your shadows in, and I'm going to get dramatic shadows. You start out with black, so I already did that. So here's how it begins. The bee, the waterfront, and the tree are already done. Now, the next step is to take all of the white area in here and paint it blue. All of it blue. It's really fast. It's really effective. And so I'm going to take a brush. This brush.
You have a great variety of brushes here. Is there some reason why you have all these brushes?
Every brush has leaves a different print. And when you do your flowers, as you push down, you'll find that everyone will give you a different effect. Some will make leaves, and some will make flowers, and some will make...
So when you did this painting over your right shoulder, did you use a huge variety of brushes?
I
or
did.
Did you find you rely on?
I sure did. I use a lot of brushes because you know all of the work underneath isn't what's going to show. It's only the base color.
Okay, so it's a foundation.
It's the foundation.
Do you think we could move this cup? I'd be glad to have it over here, just in case. I don't know which angle they're going to go from. So let me know if you need that.
So if you put your base color in here,
And is this a
and
formula?
I'm going to do it really quick because I don't have a few,
Okay.
only have a few minutes. But normally, when I paint, I don't paint back and forth swipes. I
Oh.
paint like this.
Oh, okay.
Like that. But I'll put the base in real quick like that. So now we know, you can even tell that you have the water and you have all of the landscape behind.
So do you always put a black, should I say matte, behind the landscape?
You know, sometimes not. Sometimes you don't need complete black. But the next layer, and it's all done in layers, is I would put a green and black and fill in the trees just like this. Now I'm letting some of the speckles of the black shine through it, and I'll hold it up in a second so people can see. But I love this round brush. I worked at Tumwater High School for a number of days, and they have a bunch of them, and I wish I knew where they got them because.
Oh, is that an unusual brush then?
Yeah.
Is that called stippling or not?
This is not a stippling. Stippling is a pen that does that. So.
And what kind of paint are you using again?
You know, I'm using tempera, and I did use acrylic recently. Part of that was done with acrylic. Do you know, this particular tempera, it is so fluid, and the color, the pigment is so perfect, you don't feel like you're painting with glue. You feel like you're painting, and you're able to manipulate the color the way you want, and that's the best bet, to be able to play with it. Now I use that brush. Now, okay, here I have kind of a wet paint right now. I'm not gonna play with it for a minute. I'm just gonna let it be. Can you see how it's already started
Oh,
to
it's already taking
already
shape.
developed? Now let's let it relax for a minute, and let's try. We're gonna put yellow on it, but I want you to try and take the different brushes, and I'm gonna put flowers on this painting, and I want you to put flowers on that painting. So to do a flower is just kind of and you just mash it. You just mash it. Do you see the combination? And then on top of that, you just put. I'd like to do dots.
Okay.
Do you see? I'm going to put those kind of flowers. And you want to try that? So I'm going to try another brush. Let's see. I'm going to take this and remove some of the paint so that it'll dry quicker. I'll just tap it.
And this can be as thick as what you're working with?
You have to give it a little bit of a chance to dry, but it takes just a couple minutes to dry. It's just a really awesome paint.
Could somebody, if they didn't have this type of tempera, could they use acrylic to do the same thing?
They can, but it doesn't have the luster. And the way to get luster is, I found you can use hairspray.
Oh, really?
Aquanet, you know that
We don't mention brand name, so there's probably a lot of
Okay, I'm
different-
sorry. That old time hairspray.
Aerosol, you're thinking
Yeah,
of?
aerosol, which is
Okay.
bad for the environment, as we know.
You mean
but-
after you
but-
threw painting, you spray it on?
Put
Does
it
it dry?
on, and it will actually act like a lacquer. And
Not while the painting's wet, but
just give it a minute to dry. Now, what I just did, I don't think you saw that, but I wanted you to try. This is really cool too, but to use a sponge. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. That's beautiful. You can take a brush, and you don't have to settle for what the brush gave me. I don't have to
Okay.
settle for that. I can take it like this and push it in and shape and mold it like I'm a sculptor.
so a lot of this is technique.
That's
really.
right. That's my technique. So now what I've done is I'm squeezing together color. Now I want to go from dark to light. The more dark I add, the more light I add on my dark, the fuller the foliage becomes. It actually leaps off the page. Same with any other thing, like putting skin on somebody, or making a flower like this particular flower. That's gorgeous. 3 different colors, if you see, I don't know if they can see that, 3 different colors on top of it create it, make it 3-dimensional. Do you see what I mean? You can add another one, and that would make it even a little bit more dimensional, but this is just gorgeous rendering right there.
Okay.
Easy, huh?
Okay.
So now I'm going to go with this, and I'll try to take it.
Now, what was that term you used? Like squeezing the colors?
You are actually squeezing color to comply with what you want it to be, not what the brush does.
So these are the flowers.
This is a weeping willow tree, and it goes into the water like this. Now, I can tap it just a little bit more and pull the green through so it's not so yellow. Do you see? Like that. And I'll go over here. Now the foliage on the outside edge of any bush is lighter than the inside, so on the outside edge you just hit a little bit more. On the outside edge is lighter, so you want to forest light from
so you're seeing that on any plant?
On any plant on the outside edge.
Make sense. Yeah.
So now on this particular painting, it has shadow and light.
Okay.
The light is going to be right in here. So, and I like the green. I like blue-green a lot. So I come in like this, and I go up to my sky, and I'll show you that in a second. Now, it looks like this. Isn't that neat? So what we've done is we're adding the light. Now we still have shadow, but it's kind of a boring shadow.
Oh my goodness! Look how already
it's kind of it's just kind of a boring right here. This I can't get it. That this side is too boring. So what you're going to do is I'm going to add
amazing.
Purple. I'm going to go
So where's
purple,
your horizon line?
Right here.
That's what I thought.
Right here. Now I'm going to add purple, and I do this. Now watch. Look at this. That's the shadow from the tree. And then I'm going to put the green. Now remember, we had blue in there somewhere, right? We want to keep a little tiny slice of that.
That's amazing how quickly you did that. And so when you teach young children, do you do it step by step like that?
Step by step.
You don't just turn them loose, yeah.
No, they ask, and it's like a chorus line. Lynn, Lynn. It's incredible. It's sometimes stressful because you don't want any student to walk away frustrated. You want them to have a feeling of success. Then they'll try harder, more difficult things. But if they can't walk away with a feeling of success, you're not really doing your job.
See, that's because you're a good teacher. You can put that together in about 10 minutes. And I can look at that. I see the willow tree. I see the clouds in the sky.
I don't know why that. I just left that. Now,
I don't remember you
okay,
doing
now
that.
here we go. Remember what I said about this? I want you to make another flower, but you do this, and you're going to do that on your tile. And you can do like pink. You put pinks would be
pink?
just gorgeous in there.
Am I allowed to use this?
Yes.
I thought that was kind of
Take
weird.
and wipe it off. And the one thing about my techniques is that they we go through a lot of brushes. I mean, we just like
destroy them, or
no,
you wash them.
We don't wash them very good. We just go through them because we paint paintings in 1 or 2 lessons. The kids actually complete paintings in 1 or 2 lessons.
You completed a painting there. I mean, that is something somebody would hang up. Now, how do you take the I hate to say rippleness, but the paper is not flat. What do you do about that?
Go to Kinko's, make a color copy of it, put Mod Podge on it.
Or anybody that sells
put it
copies.
behind a glass.
Okay.
It's not.
But I mean the original.
Really,
what would you do with the original?
Put it behind a glass put it behind a glass, I think, and also spray it, or put Mod Podge on it.
Flat, no.
Okay, now there's my painting.
And we don't advertise, so we can't say that. So any place
Oh,
has a
excuse me,
color
I'm sorry.
copy, yeah.
So here's the painting right here. Isn't that pretty? Didn't that one turn out nice? Now, what I wanted to do,
it's wonderful.
What I wanted to do was I wanted to make it a joyous thing. I wanted to put flowers in there. So now you're doing flowers and you're having fun. Isn't that fun?
I think so, but I kind of just have one layer.
And that's therapeutic because there's something about the tile and the application of paint that makes it art therapy. There's something about the earth.
Tile?
I don't understand. All I know is that is the truth. It's kind of an earthenness. So let's put some roses on this rose bush. And remember what I said, that I don't need to go with what the brush does. So there's all kinds of techniques to
now you've got a pencil.
to not allow to move it the way you want it to move, not the way it wants to move. You take control of it. So I like that, and I like pink. I'm not real big on red, but you know what? You don't put red in the background. You put red. Now they put
the foreground.
You put it in the front. Red is too big of a piece to stick.
Stick in the back.
And I like purple. Did you want
Oh,
a
I'm
little
sorry.
bit? Would you like a little bit of my purple?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Did you carry a brush I put in?
No. But you have to decide if it's going to look
Well, I
muddy.
don't want to mess up
If
the
it's going to
colors.
look muddy, don't do it. Now, there has to be an entrance to this painting, and the entrance is the grass coming into it, and you put it right here. And it's so interesting that they had this little kid sitting here in the corner looking out at this boat, at these people
You're
sitting
talking about the calendar
in
picture
the
now.
calendar.
Yeah.
That's what we're copying. And so we make a little entrance to the painting, which is right here. Now you see, look at my flowers. See? Isn't that
Beautiful. Maybe the cameras can see.
I'm going to put the boat in first. So we have to decide on what color the boat should be. I tell the kids, well, what color do you want your boat? What floats your boat?
Oh, so there's the boat. I got paint on this wonderful. I will get it off. You've had this calendar for 12 years.
At
huh?
least.
Do you always have your eye open for good sources, or do things just hit you?
They hit me.
So you're just looking at the calendar one day and go,
They hit me.
wow.
But it's so interesting that some paintings are so easy to do. Anybody can do them. This is one, and this is a fantastic painting. I mean, a fantastic beginning painter. Can you imagine if you'd never painted before and all of a sudden you painted this? Now, really,
Yeah, you're right.
honestly, there it is. It's done. I wonder if they can see
Isn't
it.
that amazing?
Jump in there. There it is.
Wow.
Now, isn't that a beautiful,
It's gorgeous
beautiful
to be
painting? And
framed.
can you believe you could? Oh, that's pretty, honey. That's beautiful. So, flowers. We're just trying to kind of embellish
amazing.
it with
How
flowers.
beautiful that would look in somebody's living room. And even better yet, if you knew the person. If somebody were to write in, if they would you be willing to send them a color copy of one of these?
Sure. I wanted to show them.
Okay.
Sure.
And
I
if you
wanted
want
to.
information about Lynn,
I wanted.
her phone number, your phone number's in the credits, so you can get more information from you later.
I wanted to quickly go through this. These are my adult students. Right here, this is a flower bouquet by a lady. That was her first painting at the treehouse. She had no idea she had any talent at all. My God, that's fabulous. Another woman did this one over here. It's a watercolor, and she was really nervous about it. It belongs in an art book. This is my painting right down here of
that's beautiful.
flowers. But what's so wonderful is the kids are all copying this. This little girl, just the other day, she's 8 years old. She painted this one.
So these are new paintings?
This one's brand new right here. Look at this, Diane. A little 8-year-old did that.
8-year-old did this
And
one up on
look
the
at, there it is.
pedestal?
Isn't that unbelievable?
Shocking.
Isn't
Has she
it?
been taking art lessons all her life?
No, she's just been with me a little bit, and she's just
Wow.
extremely talented. And we were just jumping up and down going, do another flower, do another flower, do another flower.
Well, I think you're very encouraging.
There's another one right here. This was by a 12-year-old, and I took that picture in black and white, and I painted it, and then she painted it. That was a black and white someplace in the Arboretum in Seattle.
Oh.
In Seattle, yeah.
So you go up there and
I did
take
years ago.
pictures
Years
and-
ago, I did black and whites, and I painted it. It was just a beautiful picture. And look at that gorgeous. Can you
Beautiful.
see-
I want
there
to
it
know
is.
about this picture in the foreground too. What is that about? This
That
one over
picture
here.
is I got it off of a magazine, and it was an article about, Do they have it up there?
Oh, I think they're looking for it. This one right here, this gal.
There it is.
Oh my gosh, that's gorgeous.
Thank you. That is so pretty. I'm so proud of that. And that is a sister, two sisters, and she's running through the fields. And the article said that they didn't have a bed to sleep in, so the sister would lay her down in the flowers and tell her to take her nap down there because they didn't have a bed. But I mean, it's still absolutely beautiful and just an emotion.
But this is your painting. You looked at the picture and made the painting from the original magazine painting.
Yeah, it was from a photograph. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. Sad story.
It is a sad story.
I love that picture.
This one right here is a really gorgeous picture, and this one is the same painting. And look at how different you can do on this painting. Look at this beautiful painting.
But you didn't do that one,
That's
did you?
a 12-year-old that did that.
Now, where's the horizon line on that, though?
Kind of disappeared in the background.
Yeah,
she disappeared.
more like
she
fog.
disappeared, and I wonder if they can see that. Can they? There
I
it
don't
is.
see the
Look at
clear
how
horizon
beautiful
line
that
on
is.
But it is gorgeous.
Isn't it just beautiful?
It's
That's
so
a
gorgeous.
12-year-old
Yes.
did
For a
that.
12-year-old? Oh,
Yeah, isn't that something?
my goodness.
So it
Or
makes
like a
me
misty. And I see the boat too.
There's
They've
the
got
boat.
the boat there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now let's look at your flowers. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness!
Let me get some background here, right here. So what do you think about this for the, may I hand this to you? Or
Yeah.
this is what I've been working on, and it has the same essence, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's about look at
About
it.
spring.
Look at that.
Oh, there you
Isn't
go.
that beautiful?
So those
There.
are my spring flowers.
Now,
These are the same colors.
Isn't that amazing
there was-
how the brush stroke can actually produce the
Yeah.
flowers? Isn't that just beautiful?
I think it. You see where the blue is? It needs more dimension, doesn't it, in the lower right-hand corner? Did you want to show us something, a technique with this about pulling the white color out, or are we going to leave this alone?
This is a tile I made for my mother, but I made quite a few of them. But actually what you do is you put a base color on the tile, and then you take your finger, I'm really good with my fingers, and pull in the design underneath.
That is
You're
fascinating.
pulling in.
So the tile
the
is
white,
white. It was painted blue when we started.
Right.
But
so
now
you
this
could
is
do
wet.
that.
I
Now
could do that?
you can do that. It's too wet. So we'll let it dry a little bit, and then you can.
And then I'm going to pull some of that white background
yeah,
out.
and you'll pull the white
What
background
a
back.
wonderful thing to do for a
And this has a little backing to it, so it's a really nice trivet. This is covered with a lacquer, so that hot items can sit on it, and it just.
What a great gift. I
It's a
bet your
beau-
mom really cherishes that.
She's got a whole bunch of them. I think she gets sick of all the stuff I
Do you
have.
autograph your work?
I haven't been.
You don't even autograph these paintings?
Some of them.
Oh, man, my goodness.
Some.
I especially love this little guy. And the white on this wasn't painted on, it was pulled out.
No, that was painted on
Oh,
that
it was painted
particular
on,
one. I just
okay.
put a pool of that one. I don't know if they could see that. Can you guys look at something
don't
that
know.
close?
We're getting ready to wrap up. You're
Did you
amazing how
did you enjoy
quickly-
that?
Yeah.
Good.
It went quickly. I'm shocked at how
Look at
quickly
that.
you put
Look
these
at that.
things
Isn't
together.
that wild? They can
It's
actually look at
beautiful.
that.
Quite a coaster. Just beautiful.
I'd like to do this. I really would like to produce a lot of these. These are just, there is so, I couldn't paint for months. It's like all I wanted to do was make these.
trivets.
Because there's so much about personal response to the paint. It's emotional response to the paint.
Even on something like this.
On this.
Well, I want to thank you for joining us, Lynn,
You're welcome.
Treehouse Lady. And I want to thank Jerry, our cameraman, and Jim and Bruce. And thanks in the control room, I think Bob Giles and Tom Dubuque. Thank you. You guys are an awesome crew. And I want to say goodbye to Mr. Feeney. And thank you again
Thank you.
for
You're
joining us.
welcome.
Bye.
Do you like it?